When people imagine challenges to dictatorship, they often think of crowds in the streets, barricades, or violent uprisings. Yet in Pakistan, in 2007, the most powerful pushback against a military ruler came from an unexpected place, the legal profession. This movement is known as the lawyers' movement, and it unfolded between 2007 and 2009 across Pakistan's major cities. For an international audience, Pakistan is a South Asian country that has alternated between military and civilian rule since the independence in 1947. During this period, lawyers in black coats became symbols of defiance who transformed courtrooms into arenas of civil resistance. Their goal was clear: restore the independence of the judiciary and force the military led government to respect constitutional order. So in March 2007, General Pervez Musharraf suspended the Chief Justice of Pakistan, Iftihar Muhammad Chaudhry. This was widely perceived as an attack on judicial independence. Small groups of lawyers began protesting outside courthouses. Within weeks, these local demonstrations turned into a national movement. For many Pakistanis, the movement raised a fundamental question: who gets to decide how power is used, and who has the right to limit it? The lawyers' movement brought a professional class into the streets. Their strength came not from force, but from their moral legitimacy. Gene Sharp's central theory explains that a regime's power depends on the obedience of its people. The lawyers used withdrawal of obedience as a weapon, refusing to appear before emergency judges, shutting down courtrooms, and publicly challenging executive authority. This approach aligns well with Erica Chenoweth's findings that nonviolent campaigns often succeed because they attract broad social participation from groups that would never join violent struggle. In Pakistan, the lawyers mobilized journalists, students, political parties, and middle class families. Each silently marched, and each raised constitution reframed the struggle. The state held the weapons, the lawyers held the moral high ground. Their methods combine obstructive and constructive nonviolent actions. Some of the obstructive tactics involved boycotting courts, refusing to recognize judges appointed under emergency rule, mass marches, sit ins, and citywide road blockades, and rejecting the state controlled media appearances. While on the other hand, their constructive tactics included organizing constitutional teach-ins, providing pro bono legal support to arrest supporters, building coalitions with journalists, students, and the civil society, and documenting human rights violations and police abuses. In nonviolence theory, these represent a balance between withdrawing cooperation and building the foundations for lawful civic order. Images of black coated lawyers dragged across pavements spread quickly through Pakistan's media. This shift into public visibility is exactly what Selena Gallo Cruz describes: moral actors become politically visible, and that visibility can reshape the conflict. Here, visibility invited repression. Thousands of lawyers were beaten, tear gassed, and arrested. Judges were detained in their own homes. Yet repression backfired. Each televised beaten charge created a moral contrast between state violence and disciplined civil resistance. This dynamic fits with backfire theory and Gallo Cruz's visibility threat model that says violence against moral actors often strengthens their legitimacy. So the black coat became more than a uniform, it was a symbol of unity. In Gene Sharp's terms, nonviolent discipline was essential. Lawyers practiced it through rituals like silent marches, recitation of constitutional slogans, and collective oath like chants such as justice or injustice. These practices evoke Martin Luther King's belief in dignity through disciplined action. Unity here protected the movement from fragmentation, and signaled professional credibility to the wider public. In March of 2009, after 2 years of sustained peaceful resistance, the Chief Justice of Pakistan was reinstated. The judiciary regained autonomy, the government conceded. Yet, as Bill Moyer's map model predicts, victory often leads to internal divisions. So, after reinstatement, unity weakened, political interests reemerged, and debates rose about whether the judiciary maintained independence or fell into new forms of political alignment. Even though the movement won its central demand, but sustaining moral authority proved much difficult. So, why does it matter now? The lawyers' movement shows that professional groups can use ethics, conscience, and institutional legitimacy to limit executive power. It demonstrates several principles of civil resistance that nonviolent power is not passive, it is a strategic withdrawal of cooperation. Visibility turns repression into leverage. Unity and discipline protect movements from collapse. And institutions can also resist, not just the individuals. This movement reveals something essential. Civil resistance can emerge from places people least expect, and in this case, justice moved forward not through violence but through collective moral commitment. The lawyers' movement turned black coats into flags of courage. It remains one of South Asia's most important examples of nonviolent civic resistance.